What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Mag. So, the biggest favourite at the moment seems to be Erik ten Hag of Ajax. The Dutch manager seems to be the absolute favourite for the Newcastle United job. Now, of course, if Erik ten Hag does get the appointment to be Newcastle United manager, that does mean that we will more than likely also have Mark Overmars coming in from Ajax as our director of football as well. Now, looking at Erik ten Hag, who is Erik ten Hag? He is a Dutch manager. He's been absolutely setting it alight in the Eredivisie. Some might say, that the Eredivisie is a shite league, according to the likes of Simon Jordan on TalkSport. He has said, that the Eredivisie is a shite league. I wouldn't agree with that, to be honest. The Eredivisie does have some really good talent and does have some really good clubs like Feyenoord, PSV, Ajax, obviously. Then you've got your other teams as well. There's some really good teams there. Obviously, it's not to the quality of the Premier League, but you know what league is. You're never going to see many leagues where they've got teams like Newcastle, Everton, Villa, Man United, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal. You're never going to see many leagues that have that kind of pedigree in them. But, for what the Eredivisie is, it is a pretty good league. And, if you look at the stats of Erik ten Hag since he joined Ajax as their manager in the 29th of December 2017. So he's been there for nigh on 4 to 5 years, and in that time, 1,399 days to be exact, that he's been in charge as the Ajax manager. And if you look at that, he's had 118 matches as manager. 134 wins, 22 draws, and 25 losses. Players used, he's used 62 players in that time in his team. He's got 2.76 goals and 0.87 goals. That's about that's 2.34 ppm for Erik ten Hag as a manager. If we look at his honours as a manager as well, he went on to win the Dutch title, of course, in the 18-19 campaign and the 2021 campaign. The Dutch Cup winners in the 18-19 campaign and the 20/21 campaign. And, of course, the Dutch Super Cup winners as well for the 19/20 campaign. Of course, they've participated in the Champions League for the 18/19 and 19/20, Europa League for the 19/20 as well. And of course, he's managed to get Manager of the Year twice, in 15/16 and 18/19. So he's a serial winner. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to build teams, and you just have to look, at the players that they've had come through the ranks at Ajax since Mark Overmars and Ten Hag have been working together. Matthias de Ligt, who is now at Juventus. There's also Donny van den Beek, who is at Man United. There's so many big names, world-class names, household names, that have come through the ranks at Ajax since they have been both working in partnership together. And, he would be a really good option to have come in Newcastle as the Newcastle United manager, and to have, Mark Overmars as well, who is a really good director of football, knows what he's doing, knows how to build up a team, and that would just be the absolute best set stone for we, to start this massive rebuild and this massive project going forward. And I'm sure, that's something that the owners are definitely looking at. They want a serial winner to come in, somebody who knows how to build a team, knows how to play attractive football, And it's something that we lacked under Steve Bruce. Attractive football. It was very drab, shithousery FC as it was called. And we're seeing a little bit of that still remaining, in that game against Crystal Palace. Even though he wasn't there as the manager, we're still seeing that Steve Bruce style being played, because unfortunately Graham Jones couldn't really change anything up, because, he just didn't have the time to do so. Hopefully, we do see something changed up a little bit in the game against Chelsea coming up this Saturday, but I still think, like I said in my match review, it's going to be one of them games where we're just going to have to hunker down to see what we can get in it. But talking about Ten Hag, I'll definitely take him. Obviously, there's a lot of big names being linked to the Newcastle United job. We've had Paulo Fonseca, who was going to be going to to Tottenham, and then of course Tottenham weren't able to bring him in because of tax reasons. So there's a lot of big names going around and being knocked around at the moment for the Newcastle United job, and Ten Hag is a really good standout name for me. I would definitely take Erik Ten Hag in Newcastle. He's a really good winner. It just speaks for itself. 181 games, 134 wins, 22 draws, 25 losses. That is an absolutely outstanding record, especially when you compare that up to the likes of a Steve Bruce, who it kind of speaks for itself. Just look at Steve Bruce's stats, look at Erik Ten Hag's stats. Ten Hag is well and truly streets ahead of Steve Bruce. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Who would you want as Newcastle United manager and director of football going forward? And of course, if you haven't seen it, please go check out the match preview for the Chelsea game coming up this Saturday. Until next time, I'll see you all there, and how well the lads.